It has been a very wet year and a very wet December, and now all of that recent rain is flowing through the river systems. Our smaller rivers and streams on the way down, but the larger ones like the Connecticut still on the way up. But all of these rivers have some dangers given how wet it's been and how strong the currents are. There may be debris flowing through the rivers, be it big pieces of trees. Oftentimes it can be other lumber and even objects that the river just picked up along the way. And this also means the riverbanks may be unstable, especially because we've seen so many flooding events this year. Take a look at this. This is the river gauge for the Connecticut River in Hartford. You can clearly see this spike back in July. This is the entire year, by the way. That was during the flooding we experienced in the summer. Believe it or not, this flooding actually coming in at a higher level, about a half foot above the peak that we saw during the flooding in July on the Connecticut River. It also took a while for the rivers like the Connecticut to go back down below flood stage during that event. And I think we're going to see something similar play out here. Take, for example, the river gauge at Haddam, which represents a lot of central Connecticut. That's forecast to crest Thursday with moderate flooding affecting Harbor Park in Middletown, River Road in Cromwell, Meadow Road in Portland, and the nearby Portland Fairgrounds, which were underwater back in the summer. They're underwater again. We've got a couple of pictures from this morning from Chris Graham. Took the drone up, and you can just see the water is covering all the fairgrounds there adjacent to the river. This is the forecast trend for the Connecticut River in the Haddam area. Expected to crest tomorrow in moderate flood, but then look at what happens. It stays in this flood stage through the end of the forecast into the weekend. So it's likely going to take until next week for the water to completely recede, especially on the lower part of the Connecticut River. I'm meteorologist Ryan Breton, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.